Michael Quander is live at the National Museum of African American History and Culture in downtown D.C. And Michael, at least one lawmaker in our area is already doing something to address this issue, right?
That's right, Makia. And look, you all know this museum right here. It documents the racism and the struggles that African American people have went through over the years and the fight for equality. And I got to tell you, I found this quote from Martin Luther King Jr. that says, the ultimate tragedy is not the oppression and cruelty by the bad people, but the silence over that by the good people. And there is one Montgomery County council member who is taking that statement to heart. I want you all to check this out. You all know his name. His name is Council Member Will Jawando. Now, he is planning to introduce a resolution next week that calls out and defines racism as a public health emergency. He says that there is systemic and institutional racism in all areas, including healthcare, education, housing, economic development, and that list just goes on and on. Now, Jawando says that black and brown people have died as a direct result of that racism and that something needs to be done about it right now.
We're dying, whether it's a knee on the neck by a police officer or in hospitals where maternal health, black women are much more likely to die giving childbirth, during childbirth rather. So you have discrimination and racism embedded in every system. And so we have to call that out, because unless we call that out and talk about the ways that black people and people of color are dying, we're not going to be able to address it and systematically dismantle this system of racism and systemic racism.
Now, Jawando says that this resolution would build upon legislation that was passed last year in the county that requires lawmakers to show how the laws they pass will potentially impact diverse communities. And on a much larger scale, the NAACP is stepping up and taking things a step further. They're taking their fight to the United Nations. The civil rights organization is demanding the UN classify the mistreatment of black people in America by police as a human rights violation. They also want the UN to call the U.S. government out about it and impose sanctions if they need to. So those are clearly some really big implications, some big movements, both on the local and the world stage. That legislation, that resolution in Montgomery County is expected to be introduced on Tuesday of next week. I'm reporting live in downtown D.C. Michael Quander, back to you in the studio.
All right, these protests certainly sparking a lot of conversation and some action as well. All right, thank you so much, Michael.